Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's KGibbs F1 here, and welcome to some more Formula Xbox highlights today. And we are in Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix at one of the greatest motorsporting destinations on the planet. It is of course Spa-Francorchamps, with corners such as Eau Rouge, Pouhon, Radillon, Blanchiment, just stunning corners, and a track that really does take the very best to master and the best to get the optimum lap time from the venue. And of course, I'm not one of the best and therefore could not optimise the lap time. However, we did at least do a 1:46.946 in qualifying, which was one of our best qualifying performances to date this season. We finished 7th, ladies and gentlemen, which is a lot better than our usual P12 or second half of the table efforts. So I'll take that. Yes, a lot of people qualified on soft tyres, and we still didn't manage to beat them, but it's still progress, and I'll take being able to see the start lights, to be fair, for a change. Of course, setting a time on the super soft tyres really has compromised, shall we say, our strategy somewhat in the race. Deg is pretty high here. As you can see, we're going to try a two-stop, going from super soft to medium to soft. However, the delta is quite big as well between the compounds, so we're going to have to watch out for the medium tyre, which could be quite slow indeed. We have 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Here in Belgium, we've got a slow starting Renault of Maestro ahead of us, to which we dive to the left of, and we've got a nice clear run into La Source. We're going to take it nice and easy through turn 1. We do not want to have any incidents early on here, but we're going to be side by side with Casey as we head towards Eau Rouge. Hang on, folks, this is going to be a bumpy ride as we head up the hill now through the classic corner. We make contact with the Renault. I nearly exit stage right there and will. In fact, I do take to the runoff area and Feely goes through, but we somehow live to fight another day despite rubbing up very close to the Renault through Eau Rouge itself. Many poos shot out of my ain eye, as Jeremy Clarkson once famously said. And as we see, we go wide again there through Curve Paul Frere, and that's going to put TSRL Bottas right on our gearbox as well. Well, at least it did put him on our gearbox until he cruised on past us. And through Blanchiment now we're on the outside, and we're heading to the car park briefly there, as we went very wide through there indeed. And that, of course, has put that slow starting Renault right on our gearbox once again as well. So Maestro looking to recover from his poor start, and he had some really good pace in qualifying as well. So he is definitely out of position at the moment, and if he makes a bit of a run at us, then he's going to be past us and clear off up the road very quickly indeed. And we've got a bit of a poor run out of La Source, just got up on the curb a little bit too high. And here we go again, just like in Season 6. It's me and Maestro heading towards Eau Rouge. It's another Renault that I'm side by side with going up the hill. I keep my foot in, unlike last season, and it has paid off because we've kept the Renault behind us for at least another few seconds, heading towards the com. No DRS, of course, because this is lap 2. Maestro, though, goes to the inside, has a look, and is actually making the move stick at the moment. We're going to try and fight it back through the second part of the com, but he has the inside from Almady, and that is job done. And we nearly drop it as well on the exit of the corner, but we've got the inside line to defend now from Vapid Coup in the Force India. And the amount of times we come across Vapid in his Force India, and we find ourselves on the same piece of tarmac once again. And he's going to have a look into Pouhon, but if he does make a move into there, then he's a much braver man than I am, and thus he stays behind for now at least. But again, our pace on these super soft tyres, I know we did a couple of laps on them in quali, and they've not got any longevity at all, but it is a really poor from us so far. Lap 3, and we're already going to be boxing at the end of this lap. Meanwhile, we're in a bit of a scrap with this Force India still. Maestro, as you can see, has cleared off up the road, as just as I predicted, and TSRL Bottas is now the man closest to us. Up ahead, we're going to dive into the pit lane, and Vapid is going to be very pleased at us for that, because that has freed him up a treat. And hopefully our races will converge towards the end. And for me at least, it's going to be a little bit of short-term pain here for long-term gain as we switch to the medium tyres. And as I said, a big delta between the compounds here at Spa. So medium tyres are a bit too hard for this circuit, and they're going to be pretty slow to warm up, and pretty slow in the middle of the stint as well, to be fair. But we emerge from the pit lane at least in P12, and it's not long before we catch onto the back of our teammate Prototype Budgie. Me and Scott are about to do battle once again, as we so often do in these races, because Scott tends to go long in the first stint on some pretty durable tyres. I tend to go for quite a short first opening stint, and that means our races converge fairly early on. So I'm at the inside going into La Source. I've just about made it stick, but Scott is not going to take this one lying down. He keeps his foot in going out of turn 1, but to no avail for him there. He drops back into our slipstream. Is he going to get a better run than us up Eau Rouge? We hope not, because that's going to get us involved in a battle that we really do not want to fight at this stage. We're looking to make the most of some clean air, and thus we do actually get away with it. And Scott drops off the back of us for a little bit there. So lap 6 now, coming through Malmedy. We have an enormous moment, and we were lucky there not to do any damage to our car. We just got up on the exit curb, and it's so dangerous when you do that, because it's such a dirty exit curb that it just spits you out every now and again towards that wall on the outside. And in this occasion we got away with it, but it can so easily turn your race into one of disaster if you get it wrong there. And speaking of disaster, someone's had a drama up at Eau Rouge, and that is the virtual safety car deployed on lap 6 here. We would have rather had the regular safety car, as that would have taken away some of the pain that we've experienced so far on these medium tyres. But you can't have everything, and at the moment at least we're back in the points in P10, so we can't really complain too much at the moment, although we have got a couple of cars that are pretty close behind us in the form of Perez, who has shown some pretty good pace so far during the course of this weekend. And we've got Jack Sparr, Vapid's teammate, now coming onto the back of us, so that's another Force India we've got to think about, and he's surely going to give us a headache, as he's out of position at the moment, looking to recover some lost ground after a pit stop, I believe. So he's now looking to the outside at the bus stop. We've gone to Narnia at the bus stop, just about pulled it out down before we go off the road, and Jack Sparr doesn't need a second invitation. Leaves us very little change on the exit there, which is his prerogative, of course, but that's now put Perez all over us as well, as he goes down the inside into turn 1. We've lost 2 spaces in the space of 2 corners there, so that is not very good at all. We've dropped from 10th to 12th, and points, well, the 1 point we were hanging on to is now disappearing off up the road, so that is bad news for us. Can we have a go back at this Toro Rosso as we head up the hill now? We're going to have DRS. He's going to have DRS, of course, though, from Jack Sparr, and he's going defensive cover in the inside line, which is going to make us have to go to the outside for Lacombe. He's wise to it. He comes back into the middle of the road, and that was as solid defending as you can hope for from Perez there. Very good stuff from him indeed. Gave me absolutely nowhere to go, and so I soon ran out of talent and ideas there, and he dives to the inside of Jack Sparr. That was ambitious, and that's given us a sniff at P11 once again, but we've got the outside for the corner with no name, and Perez has taken that place back, or at least defended that position well once again. And look who's joined the party behind us. It's Nor the Dragon, who is now all over my gearbox and about to absolutely leave me for chips here as he goes past. That's him up into P12, that's us down to P13, and this is now a 4-car battle pack for what is a singular point at the head of it. So we've got Jack Sparr occupying that 10th place at the moment, and 3 guys behind him who all want to nab that single point off of him. And this could be a battle that's going to run on and on and on throughout this race, as we've all made 1 pit stop so far. But at least 2 of these guys ahead of me have a much better pace at this stage in the race. So we're going to try and hang on as best we can and see what comes out of it. We've again gone to the car park at Blanchimont. We're heading so far wide there, we're going to need our hand stamp to get back into the track. And we're going to have a little cheeky move up the inside of Nor there, but that was never going to come off. That was beyond ambitious from us there. And apologies to Nor for the slight wheel banging contact. They say Rubbins racing, but then that's very touring car-esque, that. So we'll leave that for the likes of Croft and Brands Hatch, and not really suitable for single-seater racing at Spa, put it that way. And so this battle pack on lap 9 is still very much in full swing. Jack Sparr's been shuffled back to the tail of it. Oh, we're at the tail of it at the moment, but we want to demote Jack Sparr another position, and we're going to have a look up the inside now as we head into the chicane, and we've made that move stick. So that is now P12 for us, and that is job done on Jack Sparr. We're going to have to go defensive into Stabilo, which we've done very well indeed there. We've managed to hold him off, and it's now going to be a drag race out of here, making sure we get a good run out of Curve Paul Frere. We've gone a bit wide, but so has Jack Sparr by the looks of it, and that is P12. Signed, sealed and delivered, at least for now. So as you can see, the 2 ahead are still going wheel to wheel, Perez and Nor, and they're going to hopefully hold each other up, which is going to give us a chance to catch up, hold them up. He has done. Perez has held up Nor there at least, or Nor slowed down on the exit, which has caught me, on the entrance to the bus stop I should say, which has caught me out, an absolute treat. I've exited stage left. I really have got my hand stamped this time, And we've come back on, but we've come back on well down the order. P13 and a 14. We're nearly dead last, which is not good at all. And like I said, these medium tyres have really compromised my race so far. I haven't actually put in any practice laps at all for this race because I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to attend it in the first place. But I'm here. I'm looking at potentially a potential point if I can clear these two and get onto the back of Perez, who's made a bit of a bid for freedom from this particular battle. And it's not looking good for us at the minute, to be fair, but we're going to battle on regardless. DRS active. Jack Sparr, of course, has that DRS on Nor as well, so that's going to compromise our chances into turn 1. And it's all about getting the run out of La Source now and getting the run down the hill towards Eau Rouge. They've both got much better traction than I have. Something about my setup, I just don't seem to be able to put the power down coming out of turn 1, and that's really hurting my chances of making an overtake up the hill. But we've got a tremendous run through Eau Rouge. We've got such a good overspeed on Jack Sparr that I've had to take to the grass and actually back out of it, and Jack Sparr's gone to the right of me there. That is his race done and dusted for today. Nora's lagged behind me as well, but we've got that place picked off too, so we're up into P11 in the space of the Kemmel Straight. And well, that was some high drama there. Jack Sparr totally nerfed out of that. It seemed to be a bit of a lag glitch there that sent him off to the right and straight into the barriers at about 180 miles an hour. So that is not the way you want this afternoon to end. But we'll scoop up any positions we can. And now it's all about holding off Nor the Dragon and trying to retain P11 for as long as we can. And a virtual safety car will certainly help us in our struggle to retain the place. So it's a bit too early for us to make a pit stop yet and get to the end comfortably, but we're going to try it anyway. We're still going to move to the soft tyres. I did consider a medium tyre stint, but then to be fair, the soft tyres are probably going to just about get me there. And when you consider that we're probably not going to score a point in this race anyway, it's worth a punt at this stage just to give myself the best possible opportunity. And of course, if we have a safety car at any point, a full safety car that is, then we might be in the pound seat later on if we're on better tyres. So let's wait and see how this plans out. We're coming out of the pit lane now on our soft compound tyres. Nor behind us has had the same thought as we've had, but has gone to the mediums anyway instead. And virtual safety car's ending, but it really caught us out there because we were actually above our delta, so we couldn't get the hammer down as soon as we got the message. And Nor was one man who most certainly could. He's now in our slipstream. He's going to have DRS as well, and he's absolutely on a charge. He doesn't have a lot of straight line speed though. He's still going to the outside into Le Com. We've gone pretty nervously on the brakes there. He's going to have the inside for the next part. We're going to try and squirt up the inside for Malmedy, but no, he's got that position done. So a good move from him there through Le Com. And that is now Nor in P11, and I'm going to have to settle for P12 for the moment at least. As are the man behind us on the road, or at least the man behind us on the score sheet or time sheet, you could say, up above. Is actually out of this race. So as you can see, we are P12 of 12 at the moment. So I've had better races, put it that way. But we're still in the hunt at the moment, and still in the battle with Nor the Dragon. But curiously, it's not much of a battle at the moment, as he's just let us cruise on by there. I don't know whether he was waiting for DRS or trying to steal a bit of cheeky DRS from me down the next straight. If he was, he didn't time it very well because he left us behind him when we actually went through the detection point. So he didn't actually get the DRS from us anyway. He was behind at the wrong time. So I'm curious there from Nor. But if you're watching this, Nor, then please leave your thoughts in the comment section below as to what was actually going on there, because I'll be intrigued to know, because you soon came back at me like an absolute steam train, a man on a mission, and nearly pinched P11 back off of me there. And we didn't have to go defensive into Stavilo because Nor kind of showed his hand on the way into the chicane, and that really did compromise him through the second part of that. And speaking of compromise, we've really compromised our exit from the bus stop there as we went deep for the second time in this race, or the third time if you count when I went to Narnia. And Nor's maybe going to have a sniff up the inside into La Source. He thinks about it, he goes quite late, we leave him room on the apex, we're still going to get good traction out of here. Meanwhile, hello Perez, he emerges from the pit lane and wants a bit of a piece of the action as well with 7 laps to go. So this could get very tasty between the three of us now as we're all battling for what has become P10. So I am in the hunt for a point at the moment, which is certainly better than I thought it was going to be a couple of laps ago when we were dead last. And so we're managing to hold off Nor down this straight, which is very promising for our chances. he's maybe running a bit more wing than I am, because he just doesn't have the straight line speed to do anything about to make a move on us really into Lacombe, unless we make a mistake at the bottom of the hill. So it's an interesting one. We'll see how that pans out. Meanwhile, Vapid and TSRL Bottas are having a bit of a scrap up ahead. Bottas, I believe, was in the wars earlier on in this lap, so he's got a bit of damage and on his way back to the pit lane. Meanwhile, Nor wants to put a bit of damage to my race and to demote me another position. We've managed to cover it off once again. We keep going defensive into that chicane, and it keeps working. I mean, usually my defence is very bad indeed. It's very, well, I would leak goals if I was a football team defending, and unfortunately we're not doing that at the moment. We're hanging on to position very well indeed. But as I mentioned, if we make a mistake at the bottom of the hill, that gives Nor every opportunity to pass us. And in this occasion we made a mistake just as we went up Eau Rouge. We just caught a little bit of the grass on the right, and that meant that Nor didn't need a second invitation. He was straight through with DRS. So we're now back down to P10. Here comes Perez as well, wanting to take the last point scoring position of the day off of us. We're not going to give this one out without a fight, and we've managed to retain the position there despite Perez being ahead of us for a brief moment there. So lap 20 of 22, we're nearing the end, nearing the conclusion of this Belgian Grand Prix. And boy, has Perez got a run on me here. He's got a massive tyre advantage as well, and he's shown better pace than me all day long. And we've just about held him off into Pouhon, but he's going to try that move once again. We're going to go defensive once again into this chicane. Can we once again repel his attack? We have done on this occasion. He went wide, to be fair to him, and that has meant we've managed to hang on to the position. Is he going to have a look into Stavolo? No, we've got that one covered. Always difficult to make a move into a third gear corner, and thus it's proving so far. So while Nor's scampering off up the road, we are at least managing to hang on to the final point scoring position. Now at this point, Jeff informed me of some very, very critical information, that Perez has a time penalty. Now that means he's probably got a 3-second time penalty, so my mission at this point is to hold him up as long as possible, but if he does get by, I'm sure as hell not only going to let him get more than 3 seconds up the road. So that is what we are facing at the moment. Can he make a move? And if he does, will we be able to stay within 3 seconds of him to claim P10 back at the flag? Anyway, he's going to have a look on the outside of the Lacombe. We've gone defensive once again. We've held him off, but he's gone to the car park on this occasion, using a bit of the runoff area, and he's actually got a better run on us down the hill towards Rivage as well. So he's made that move stick, which is slightly cheeky from him. And we're thinking at this point, well, if he does pull away for more than 3 seconds, the stewards may have a little bit of a look at that one. But ultimately, it's our job now to stay within 3 seconds and to not let the stewards have to intervene on this one. And so, as we head through Pouhon now, we're hoping to hang on to the back of him as best we can. And that we do. As you can see, it's checkered flag time now. Lap 22 of 22, and he's about 1.8 seconds up the road. So that's, ladies and gentlemen, after all those shenanigans and defending from me, we've managed to hang on to P10. So it's all of that action, all of that hard work, and it's a singular point for us today. But it's a point more than I thought I'd get. As I mentioned, I didn't think I'd even be at this race. So we'll take whatever we can get. And it was a good bit of fun, wasn't it, at the end of the day? Which is, of course, the main thing. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video anyway. I've certainly enjoyed commentating it for you. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and a like if you have enjoyed. And why not subscribe for some more Formula Xbox and general F1 2016 action. But until next time, when we shall be in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, I shall see you very soon. Goodbye.